Welcome to this week's market update from Aquus Property Group. We're back after a 2-week break, which I've spent backpacking through southern Vietnam and Cambodia, and recommend that trip to any of you with an adventurous spirit. This week we look into the news from the Reserve Bank, where a report has suggested that us Australians are better off renting than purchasing in the long term. And our property of the week is a great off-plan opportunity only 1 kilometre from Brisbane CBD. Markets across Australia continue to push forward in what you could call the perfect economic environment for growth. You see, our record low interest rates continue, coupled with huge amounts of demand, and our supply levels are low because it's winter. The number of auctions is also down for this same reason, but we're still seeing clearance rates of what we're seeing in spring. The craziness continues, especially in Sydney and Melbourne, and one must ask, when will this stop? Look at the numbers. Melbourne posted almost 2% growth last week, which is enormous. As you'll see, Brisbane is now posting over 7% growth annually, which is huge, and Perth is really coming off as that market continues to slow. Here's the latest and most topical property news that we can find across the nation. Sydney rents continue to rise, showing a 2% increase over the June quarter. Melbourne has just approved the first 100-storey residential tower in the Southern Hemisphere. This one will eclipse the Eureka Tower by 22 metres. In Brisbane, the NAB quarterly forecast gives Queensland's capital the biggest tick for performance for the coming year. In Perth, developers are starting to feel the pinch, with the slowdown in growth of the mining sector and the WA budget fallout being the two biggest factors of this. In Adelaide, welfare advocates are pushing for a cap on rent rises to protect tenants, and I'm sure this sentiment could be echoed across most of the nation's capitals. And real estate agents have been found to use drones to secure marketing material for properties and invade locals' privacy in the process, which sure is thinking outside the box. The Reserve Bank released a report this week, and a very bold one at that, suggesting that Australians are financially better off renting rather than purchasing a property over time. I struggle to fully come to terms with it, as it is big news, especially coming from the RBA. As far as wealth creation goes, renting does have its place, as long as you're purchasing elsewhere. But to make the decision to never purchase is a big one, if the decision is there to be made. The report quotes very conservative figures, and I believe it gives Australians the wrong message. In light of this report, I would like to see the correlation between the wealth held of a renter versus a homeowner over a 30-year period. Habitual renting can have its benefits, as is seen through Central Europe. Germany, for instance, their economic prosperity is put down partly to a culture that is not pursuing home ownership. But us Australians, we love our property, and to shift away from the Australian dream would be a massive cultural change. This concept, coupled with basic investment strategies, I feel is always going to win out in compared to a lifetime of renting. With that in mind, wouldn't you prefer to leave a paid-off investment property to your children as opposed to a lifetime of renting? Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Our property of the week is a project located in Hurston, 1 kilometre north of Brisbane CBD. We have an option of studios, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments, starting for $260,000. This area boasts a vacancy rate of 2%, it's got great investment fundamentals, and is a very, very good buy to be bought off plan. Next week, we're excited to be involved in the SMSF Summit. The first event is to be held at the Menzies Hotel in Sydney. For more information, go to smsfsummit.com.au, and I hope you can attend. In the meantime, have a wonderful week. I'm Sonntag from Aquus Property Group.